you know how storytellers begin? We are very insecure people, so we always ask whether you're interested. We go crick, and if you want to hear the story, you say crack. And then if we want to know if you really, really mean it, we might ask again. So, crick, crack, crick, crack, crick, crack, crick, crack, crick, crack. One time, sometime, no times, all times, there was a woman. A woman with a big heart, but her heart was empty as the Australian bush, for she had no child. But you know that the Australian bush is not empty. It's full of movements and of life and energy, and builds and builds and cracks through the sky. And the lightning came down and struck the earth. And where it struck, a seed landed. And where the seed was, she raised it up. You know, it opened. Her son and echidna. Eddie, 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 my echidna. Eddie, my echidna dear. And she took him home and he filled her heart with joy. But her husband, the boy's father, when he returned from a day of clearing the land, he was not well pleased. When he had dreamt of a son, he had not wished for this. And so every day he greeted the boy with a blow or a curse or just a sneer. And Eddie moved back into the kitchen building at the back of the house. And there he was where the flames grew around the fire. And the wood burned high and fierce. And there he rested with his mother near him. Eddie, 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 my echidna. Eddie, my echidna dear. And the sounds that he made in the darkness moved up from the bagpipes that she gave him. And the song came out, Eddie, 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 my echidna, Eddie, my echidna, dear. But song and a mother's love can only warm so much. And the day came, as it must, when he went to his father, and he said, give me a beast to ride upon, and I will leave, and you need never see my face again. And so his father gave to him something that would match the boy's needs. A cockatoo. And the boy rode upon the cockatoo, taking his bagpipe with him, and it is true. His father never saw his face again, but neither did his mother. Eddie, 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 my echidna. Eddie, my echidna. He went off into the bush and made a home of his own. And the years passed. One time, sometime, there was a man, a politician. And so, to get the national vote and get the rural people on side, he bought himself a blue check shirt and a Cobra hat and some R.J. Williamson boots, and he went out and had a photo op in the bush. It was wonderful. And then he decided, no, I will go out into the bush because I know it like the back of my hand. Well, he went off into the bush looking for how he would develop it and clear the land some more, and he obviously didn't know the back of his hand too well, because although it was never his fault and he would swear to that in front of Hansard, the fact of the matter is that after a couple of hours he was hopelessly lost. Eddie, my echidna, wasn't lost. He came upon him and he found him, and he led him off, but then he stopped. I care for the land, and the land cares for me. But I wish that someone would listen to my bagpipes beside the cockatoo. Promise me, if I return you home, that the first living thing that greets you shall come to me. Well, you don't want to make a promise too fast, do you? Have you thought about it? And the thing is that when he went home, nobody greeted him. He would call out, and all the members of the family would yell back at him from the various screens in different rooms that they were staring at. And his daughter was rarely even home from uni by the time he got home, so loophole. I promise, said the politician. And so the worst sound that he ever heard in his life was when he went home and his daughter said, "Hi, Dad." Well, I don't know what it was that was in the background of the father and the daughter, that she should give up her life to make good his promise. But whatever the reason was, so she did. There was no party, no announcement, no celebration of any kind. When he had dreamt of a son-in-law, he had not thought of this. But the bridegroom made a beautiful home, a granny flat out the back, in a fine place in Paddington. And the rooms were made gold with all the candles that he lit up. And the petals scented the bathwater with their rose fragrance. But when he leaned in for a kiss, perhaps, she followed. Without thinking, she moved back, and he moved. He left the room and closed the bedroom door behind him. And through the darkness of the night, she could hear the sounds of the bagpipes wafting round. She could not hear the words. The next night, the flames of the candles were blown out. She listened through the darkness, and she could hear the sounds of the bagpiping. And now she could hear the words, "Eddie, Eddie, Eddie, my echidna, Eddie, my echidna dear." She rose up through the night with those sounds, those notes stroking her, caressing her. And she went to the door. She took up a candle. And she went to the door and she leaned out, and she saw somewhere in the gloom, she saw the bright points of the cockatoo, the quills of the echidna, and then something dark rose up before those brightness. And she raised up a candle and she looked. And when she had dreamt of a lover, she had wished for him. The third night she lay in a bed waiting for him to come to her. But he did not come. And so she lit a candle once more, and she went out to the door, and she looked forward, and she raised it high, and she looked in his face. He saw her, and he ran. He ran out of the door, and she took up her candle, and she came after him. And as she leaned, leaning forward, rushing towards him, with the flame of the candle going forward. And as she went, the candle, so keen to see him, that it leapt ahead of her and went forward to tree, to other trees. And as she went, the flames leapt high. Bushfire. A bushfire leaning on further and further, and she rushed up behind it, with the flames coming towards her. Ahead she rushed. And always ahead, just beyond touch, and she looked for the echidna, and there was nothing to be seen, just the ash. And she looked again, and she saw a banksia cone. And she lifted up the banksia cone. And she placed it deep in the ash. From ash